Hello. Hold on.
Oh, look at it. She bought that. Period.
What's the craziest conspiracy theory you think about, but you wouldn't tell nobody?
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
You got one type there? Craziest conspiracy theory. Pizzagate. They all did that shit. They got the island. Yeah. Bill Gates. Goddamn. The first lady. Goddamn the Trump. Yeah. All of them. They tapped in.
Hey, Mike, what's your worst breakup story?
My worst breakup story? I caught him in bed cheating. I whooped that.
Oh man. That's sad.
Hey.
All right, next question. What's heavier, a pound of pillows or a pound of pennies?
A pound of pennies.
Pound of pennies. This is the last one.
He can't even say it. He's getting down.
I'm not going to answer that question.
Yo, welcome to the New Number Podcast. You are now finna get the greatest show on earth. The reason that we talking today and the reason that I'm doing this podcast, I'm going to ask, is America racist? I'm going to say that again. Is America racist? If you just walk through the door, y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video. Make sure you subscribe to all social media platforms. But the reason I want to talk about is America racist is because one of my videos, can y'all hear me get out there? One of my videos that I had a lot of people in my comment section calling me these words like tether, sambo, just a whole bunch of stuff because my view and my take on racism, right? So before we get into the actual show, I just want to talk about how I feel as if with black people, you have to code switch more with them than you do with any other people. I'm going to say it again. With black people, you have to code switch more with black people than you have to code switch with any other, more than you have to do with any other race of people. And what I mean by that, we had so many people talking about they were going to vote for Kamala. They were going to do this for Kamala. They were going to go show up to the polls for Kamala. And then when it came out that Trump won, now we got so many of these black athletes dancing and doing the Trump dance because it's hard for black people to think differently than the masses of the other black people, or we have to be monolithic in thinking. So a lot of people out here code switching and faking the funk and acting as if they were going to vote one way and went into those polls and those booths and voted a totally different way. And like I said, that's why we're talking today, because like I said, I had so many people calling me a tether, not knowing that I'm born and raised Birmingham, Alabama. Both my parents born and raised Birmingham, Alabama. My grandparents, both my grandfather's from the country, Marengo County. My grandmother is from Birmingham. My mother's grandfather is from Troy, Alabama. My grandmama on her side is from Chicago. She moved down here. So like I said, I got generations upon generations of people in my family. And the way that I think about this is Dick Gregory said something and it stood out to me and has always stood out to me. He said, violent people get shit did. I'm going to say this again. He said, violent people get shit did. The reason I'm saying that is because I see grown men still complaining, begging, and asking for reparations. Black men. And it's like, bro, if you call America racist, how in your mind do you think that they're going to pay you reparations if you call in America racist? I'm going to say it again. How do you think they're going to pay you reparations if you're calling America racist? That is crazy to ask somebody that you think is this low down, dirty person and think they're going to give you something to better your life. If you're not finna get it in blood, then shut the fuck up, because we know you're not going to get it. Reparations is out the door. I don't care how many FBA movements Tariq Nasheed started and how many queens Dr. Umar called the black women. Y'all, it's out the window. Y'all ain't finna get no reparations. You can hang it up. Y'all need to focus on y'allself and trying to better y'all families, because that's why they attack the family the way they have and allow women in the black community to become matriarchal, because they know when you tear down the family, you're going to tear down the economics of the black community. Because one thing that's for sure, that the family structure, when you got two people in the household working, you have more money. You don't have kids too early. You don't have kids out of wedlock. These are things that will help you grow and help you be a better pillar to your community, better for your kids, and better raising a better stock of children to put back out there in society. So where we're gonna start it today, we're gonna talk about this guy, Yemi. Yemi was the mayor of Colorado Springs. The reason why we're talking about Yemi is because we've had too many. I'm gonna say this again. We've had too many fake racist incidences for racism to be so prevalent in America. I'm gonna say it again. The reason we're talking about Yemi is because we've had too many fake racist incidents in America for racism to be so prevalent. And what do I mean by that? So Yemi faked a racist attack. Y'all might know this other guy named Juicy Smollett. He faked a racist attack, said MAGA people attacked him, had him tied up, hog tied him like R. Kelly said, pole bleach on him, which is random because first of all, in Chicago, we all knew it was a lie because what niggas gonna be out there in below freezing degrees just to rap up a gay man and do all of this stuff. That just makes no sense. But that's what he told us. Nobody believed it because it sounded far-fetched. And once again, if you didn't take the side of the black man, even though the shit sounded stupid, you got labeled a coon, you got labeled all these names, Sambo, all these names, because you didn't take the side of the black man. And then black people say, well, we know racism exists. They was hanging niggas and XYZ. Well, if that was the case, why do so many people have to fake racist attacks? I think another notable fake racist attack they still haven't proven was LeBron James, with nigga getting wrote on his house in this big community where everybody got cameras, and we still don't know who wrote nigga on LeBron James' house. They just got there and were able to spray nigga on his house. I believe that was another fake racist attack that they do because, like I say, racism, if it's so prevalent, you would not need any of these people out here faking these racist incidents. Let's play this video.
A federal indictment outlines communications between then mayoral candidate Yemi Mobolade and one of the men accused of concocting a hate crime hoax prior to the 2023 runoff election.
The court documents run through 5 separate contacts between suspect Derek Bernard and Mobolade, beginning with a Facebook message from Bernard to Mobolade 10 days before a cross was set on fire in front of a Mobolade campaign sign.
They out here faking KKK attacks. This is crazy. You got black men conspiring with other people to fake racist attacks in hopes of getting reelected, because we know when you rally up the emotions of black people and get them behind you, you can make them do whatever they want them to do, except for bettering themselves, except for making better financial decisions, except for controlling the things that we can control, like who we have children with and how many kids we have children, how many children we have, and when we have children in our lives. But we could control those things. But when it comes to racism, we can't control what somebody decides to do. And that's when people want to come together, pitchforks and picket signs and riot and do all of this stuff to get behind somebody. And people in the Democratic Party know that they can influence black people by the way they feel.
That had the N-word spray painted on it. According to court documents, that initial...
Like I said, don't that look similar? Like when LeBron James was out here, had his house spray painted with nigga, and we still don't know who did that?
Message from Bernard read, quote, "I'm mobilizing my squadron in defense and for the final push. Black Ops style, big brother, the Klan cannot be allowed to run this city again."
Bernard then texted Mobolade on April 23rd in response to a message about needing support to get to the finish line. A 5-minute phone call was also shared prior to the election.
That's crazy that you have to conspire to do something racist so you could become the mayor of Colorado Springs. This is the same thing. Don't this remind y'all of something? Don't y'all remember when Trump got shot and people are saying, well, Trump out here planning fake attacks so people can have sympathy for him so he can win the presidency. But when it's y'all out here doing it, it seems like y'all doing the same thing, ain't it?
Election. A final text from Bernard to Mobolade was also documented the day of the May 16th election. Now tonight, Mayor Mobolade responded in a statement writing, "That incident during my campaign led to a very traumatic Time for my family, my campaign team, and our community. My knowledge and interaction with Bernard was as a local media personality.
Which was a lie, because we got text messages and phone calls between you two people. We have text messages and phone calls between you two. Like I said, if racism was so prevalent, why do you have a black man out here with the name Yemi Yomalati? It's not even an FBA, faking to get reelected. This makes no sense.
He goes on to say, I was not aware at the time that he was suspected of this crime. I appreciate local and federal law enforcement's work in pursuing justice and sending a message that we will not tolerate such reprehensible behavior. Derek Bernard and 2 others are now facing federal charges of conspiracy to commit offense or defraud the United States.
They're also charged with using instrumentalities of interstate commerce to maliciously convey false information to intimidate by means of fire.
This is sad that we see so many of these stories. And I think a lot of racist things are going to continue to happen, especially the hoax and the fake ones, because like I said, excuse me, there's not a lot of people out here faking. What's up, Gambit? There's not a lot of people out here faking. I mean, not a lot of people out here doing real attacks out here. So that's why you have so many people having to fake these racist attacks and pull on the heartstrings of black people like Yemi to get reelected. It's a sad reality, but it happens more so than often. Like I said, LeBron James is one. You had Juicy Smollett, and like I said, you're going to start seeing a lot more of these fake racist attacks. Even if you see something like a George Floyd happening, people will say that was based in racism, but they just have to classify that as racism because honestly, you don't know what police is going to show up when you call for an incident. So to just think that racist police is just the whole force is just racist, because what if George Floyd would have got killed the same exact way, but by a black man, then nobody would have been calling it racist. Do I think most people, when they sign up to be firefighters and policemen, are genuinely out here to do good? Yes. Are there some bad apples? Yes. But for y'all to be like the police force is racist, or they was made to catch slaves where they had police over there in England and stuff like that, that makes no sense. But that's the logic that y'all use over here. Y'all said police was started to be slave catchers. But like I said, over there in England, they had police but no slaves. They just replicated that over here. Yo, what up, Chris? Like I said, if I'm gonna say this once again, if racism was so prevalent in America, you would not have so many people out here faking and doing hoax and racist schemes to get reelected to be mayor of Colorado Springs. So the next video I want to talk about is this one right here. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. Y'all make sure y'all share the video. This one right here, this video right here we finna play is funny. And the reason this video is funny to me is because we talk about Sunny.
Indictment outlined.
Wow.
The person we're talking about right now is Sunny Hostin. The reason we're talking about Sunny Hostin because this is a woman that's on The View, and she's always talking about racism. It is always a woman that's ambiguous in nature, that damn near looks white, that's always talking about racism or pro-black. This is a woman that's been seen picture with Kamala Harris. She's an AKA, went to HBCU and talked about Donald Trump supposed to be Hitler and racist and a bigot. All of these things, this is what she said Donald Trump is supposed to be. This is what she said Donald Trump is supposed to be. But what we're going to do, we're going to watch this video right here. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
See that Kamala laugh that she just gave? Y'all see that weird Kamala laugh she just gave? I don't know what it is about if you're an AKA, go to an HBC, and you ambiguous when it comes to your race, you get this nervous, weird laugh, but they all do it. It's not a laughing matter. You're just gonna laugh about your family owning slaves? Is that funny now? Should we persecute you because now you're laughing and you're laughing at the pain of the slaves that your family owned? Same as Kamala when you figure out that her father owned slaves too in Jamaica, but y'all claim that he black because y'all stupid niggas don't understand nationality.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
Your husband and you have
So
shared. So what does that mean? He was a slave. His family come from slave owners too. Because y'all got to understand this, and this is why studying your history is very, very important. I'm gonna say something that maybe more so a lot of people don't think, but I don't think so many people are racist just because you're black. I don't think a lot of people are just racist like that, to be honest, white people. And the reason I say that, I think it was a way of life. And the reason that I say slavery was a way of life is because niggas enslaved niggas in Africa and sold your black ass to the transatlantic slave trade that was funded by Jewish people. But even in America, when a black man got his freedom, or if he was mixed, he could own slaves as well in America. There are plenty of stories throughout history where there were black men who got freed, end up making an invention, or their fathers left them land and they owned slaves. Now, personally, I don't believe interracial people are black or white. I believe they are interracial. And I think it's a slap in the face to just pick sides when you come from two different people and two different cultures and two different backgrounds. And just you to be just saying you black, I think it's a slap in the face to the other parent that raised you.
I do appreciate that. And I think it's great for our children to know this information. I guess it's a fact of life that.
Oh, now it's a fact of life. Now it's just a fact of life, or the way it just happens. But you get on The View every day, and so much so that she even had to go on The View to address it. I'm gonna see if I can find the video, but she had to go on The View and address her lineage of slave owners.
This is how some people made their living, on the backs of others. Why? And
you still doing it. You're still doing it. When you get on The View and you lie and say, hey, I X, Y, and Z, you talking about people, you making lies up and stuff like that, so much so that they have to make y'all read legal notes on The View. They make y'all read legal notes on The View. Because y'all say so much of the most outlandish shit ever. So let me show y'all this video right here. So let's talk about this. Since we want to always criticize other people.
We're starting a little differently this morning. Sonny, you were just on an episode of Finding Your Roots with Henry Louis Gates Jr.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he gave me some surprising revelations about my family history. You know, I was really reluctant. I don't know how you felt when you did it, Whoopi, but I was really reluctant to do it because I just sensed that there could be something in my family history that would be disappointing.
Negative.
Yes, I thought I was going to have that kind of moment. And Skip had asked me to do it for a long time. And I finally decided to do it because I thought it'd be helpful for my children and my children's children to know what their real history was, you know? But what I found out was that
so they could grow up to be slave drivers too. They can go and talk about people and make up lies and get on TV and build followings off the back of other people, if it's true or not. Because that's exactly what you're doing.
my mother's family, while they are Puerto Rican, they actually originate from Spain. And the reason that they moved to Puerto Rico is because the slave trade had been sort of canceled in Spain and then Curacao, and then they moved all of their slaves to Puerto Rico. And so the family business, I had been told that they were printers and journalists, but they were in fact enslavers. And my mother. So
Yeah, they was printing all right. They was tagging the slaves and they was journaling how much it cost to sell a slave. That's what they was doing.
Fell over the
it
audience.
was deeply disappointing. And it's deeply disappointing because my mother really identified as Puerto Rican. She was part of the civil rights movement.
Come on now, don't be freezing up on me. Oh man. Most white people don't even have slave owners in their ancestry. The fact that it's her is hilarious. Right. And a lot of people believe that most white people come from a background where their family owns slaves, but in reality, only they said like only 8% of white people own slaves. So much so at that point in time, a lot of the white people were slaves themselves. Now, granted, the argument and the talking point is, well, if they could afford slaves, they probably would own slaves. Well, if your black ass back there at that time too, if you could own a slave, and that's the way people was making a living, especially owning picking cotton and having people work in the fields, you probably would do the same thing. Because I'm a person that believes in nepotism. The reason I'm talking about nepotism because I'm not gonna make my child do something that I ain't gotta make them do. If I can put your black ass, I don't give a fuck what race you is. If I can put your black ass out there and pick that cotton field and gotta have my son out there in that blistering heat pricking his fingers and stuff like that, I probably would do that too. I'm just saying, we see LeBron James, garbage ass son, get skipped. Plenty of players better than him. They say he's three players away from being the worst player in the G League. This is how sorry LeBron James' son is. So when we talk about this, understand black people do these same practices and then get upset when other people do these practices that they just learned from. She is a colonizer.
They.
Oh man, this junk don't want to play.
And my mother. So
Hush fell over the
it
audience.
was deeply disappointing. And it's deeply disappointing because my mother really identified as Puerto Rican. She was part of the civil rights movement. And she.
If y'all don't know this, Jewish people helped start the NAACP too. I went to the Civil Rights Museum in DC. You see a whole bunch of Jewish names on the walls up there, Horowitz and Steens everywhere. You see a bunch of those names all over there. But y'all got to understand, these are the people that also funded slavery as well.
She was deeply ingrained in Black culture, and identified herself as Black for race, but Hispanic for ethnicity.
Okay.
But her race is white. She's European.
Yeah.
I know. It's
Yeah.
weird because when you look at her, my mother's blonde and she has light eyes, and my whole.
Now you know that damn woman ain't no Black, and she don't identify as Black. Come on now, you damn near white yourself. And you got to understand when people say, I just thought I was Puerto Rican. No, you're not Puerto Rican, baby. You're from Spain. Spain is some white people. You're a Spaniard. Moved to Puerto Rico to practice slavery again. That's why you had your mama blonde hair, blue-eyed, or light-eyed, as you said.
Whole family looks like that. So I think inside, I sort of knew that this was my history, and that's probably why I didn't want to do it. And I spoke to my mom about it. She was deeply disappointed. She actually cried about it. And then she said, maybe that's why I have been so connected to Black culture, because it's an atonement in my spirit. And
oh my God, bruh. When I say she spit that so well in an audience full of bitches, I mean women, she spent that amazingly well. Because I would have just said, if I was there, I'd be like, bitch, shut up. She benefited from slavery. That's probably why you are a lawyer now. That's probably why you have the position that you have now, because you probably come from a family that's more well off, better than middle class, to put you in these positions to where you could be on TV talking bullshit every day. Add the fact that you are light-skinned and pretty privileged on there. But let's be real. Your mama didn't care about that. And she connected. You look in the mirror and you don't see no black. She look in the mirror and don't see no black at all.
Received that. I also found out that, and there were slaves on both sides of her family, mothers and fathers, but we are 7% indigenous Puerto Rican, Taino.
Oh, now y'all clapping. They must have put the sign up on the ceiling to tell the people to clap then. Because what is 7%? What is the other 93% then? What is the other 93%? Y'all clapping for 7%. That's the same argument we use when bitches be trying to talk about abortion. Y'all be using a small percentage to justify a large percentage of something. Baby, you're a white lady. Come on now. You have a few other features that make you look a little bit more ethnic because you have just a smidge of Puerto Rican in you. Come on now. You're a white lady. Actually, she's the same as Kamala, because Kamala family owned, her daddy owned slaves in Jamaica. And these two, like I said earlier, these two take pictures together. They both AKAs, they both went to HBCUs. Like I said, it's always the ambiguous ones, the one that can always pass for white in case of crisis. If someone was to pop up now, trust me, she taking all that hair I have. She gonna die blonde. She gonna be close and try to be white as she can be. She gonna try to be white as she can be. That jump fighter. She's everything she hates. Like Creed's father being Saber Teeth on X-Men. That's funny. But yeah, like I said, these are the people that we allow to get in front of us and speak and tell us who's bad and who's good. Who's bad and who's good? Baby, you need to check on your mama or your granddaddy. I bet you wouldn't chastise them like that if they had you pulling up in a Rolls Royce. Well, them niggas had to go to work today. I want to freeze up. Let me just exit out of that, because I don't know why it's doing that. So, like I said, y'all make sure y'all like the video. My next video, I don't know if y'all seen this, but we're finna talk about this. The next video I want to talk about is, I don't know if y'all seen this, so I'm finna share it right now. This right here. So, they're trying to be mad at Kendrick Lamar. Now, Kendrick Lamar just dropped the album last Friday. If y'all know why they're trying to ban Kendrick Lamar, or what word that Kendrick Lamar said in his songs, put it in the comment section. If you've heard this story, you know what's going on. Can y'all put it in the comment section? If y'all don't know, I'm going to go to the video so y'all can see what was supposedly was said. What was supposedly said by Kendrick Lamar. Because this is crazy. This actually blew my mind. That's when I knew that people just want to have an issue with something. People always want to be mad. People always want to be crying about something. So let's play the video so y'all can see what they're trying to counsel Kendrick for now.
This video is going to be for black people. If you're not black, you can stay. I really don't give a fuck. But like, I'm gonna just hold my hand.
Okay, and you always notice the people that's outraged, if it's a dude, they kind of flamboyant, they kind of like them fun boys, and he got a septum piercing, so you already know he in that community. You know, he might be a flamer. He seem a little sweet. And if you're Democratic or liberal, pretty much, I pretty much think a lot of those guys on that side is a little fruit duke, but I don't know.
Grab my hand, because we need to have this conversation. absolutely in no circumstances should Kendrick Lamar be able to say the slur that starts with an E that indigenous people, the Inuit people have said is a slur. Look, hold on. Don't get up in arms with me, okay? He probably didn't know. Obviously, many of us did not know. I've known for quite some time, but like I know everybody doesn't know. The thing about new information is when you get it, you're allowed to change your mind or your stance. Okay, hear me out. When Beyonce was
Hey, if y'all watching the video, y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure you share the video. Make sure you subscribe on all social media platforms.
told by people what the word spaz is related to.
Now, so he said he didn't tell y'all the word. He said the E word. So I'm gonna let y'all know what the E word is. And y'all gonna be shocked as I was. The E word is Eskimo. Can you believe that they're trying to ban Kendrick Lamar for saying Eskimo? Every group of people seem like they just want to have an issue. I knew it was bad when we couldn't say midget anymore. Because as long as I grew up, I did not know that was a slur, and all of a sudden we got to start calling them little people. It is crazy the stuff that we seeing that's going on where everybody want to have a victim mentality. Now they try to cancel Beyonce. I don't remember y'all if y'all remember that last year, or it might have been early this year. No, it was last year when she said the word spaz, and the cripple community or whatever they call it, they said that word is used or is a slur to talk about people who are disabled, which is crazy because nobody I've ever been around ever used the word spaz to describe somebody disabled. Typically, spaz is equivalent to crashing out. The word we use, crash out, today is typically what people say, oh, I'm finna spaz out on you. Not necessarily you slow or you in the LD class, but this is the time that we're living in. We have so many people that want to run in the Victim Olympics. It is sad.
Beyonce changed the lyric. When Glorilla said the R word in her song, and people said, hey, this is not okay. Her disabled black fans said it.
It must have been retarded. Fergie got a whole song that say retarded on it.
Guess what? Kendrick can do the same thing. I don't think it was malicious, and none of the videos I said are antagonizing or attacking him. So don't defend that shit. Don't be weird. Blackness is not a shield from things that we do wrong, and we don't like when people do shit like this to us. Why on God's green will we do it to anyone else? Be so fucking for real.
And when I seen this, I was just scrolling X today, minding my business, and I just seen this. Kendrick Lamar cannot say a slur, and I'm like, what slur Kendrick saying? What they trying to do? And all day on X, it's a place of, like they said, X is the new news right now, so you get stuff a lot earlier than people if you on X like that. And it's like, bro, I can't believe so many people are outraged at the word Eskimo. And it's so crazy because do anybody know any Eskimos? I don't know now one Eskimo. I ain't seen an Eskimo. The only thing I've ever heard related to an Eskimo as of late is an Eskimo kiss. But I don't even know what like, do they stay in like Alaska or something? Like, do anybody know Eskimo for them to be outraged? And if you out there, it's kind of like the Amish. Like, if the Amish know who Kendrick Lamar is, how the fuck you know who Kendrick Lamar is? You ain't supposed to have no TV. You ain't supposed to have no car. You ain't supposed to have no internet. You ain't supposed to have no cable. Like, how do you even know who Kendrick Lamar is if you Amish the same way as the Eskimo? Because ain't y'all out there on the ice in igloos and wrapped in polar bear fur? I ain't even trying to be funny. I'm being dead ass serious. Like, how are the Eskimos upset at Kendrick for saying Eskimo when the Eskimos ain't gonna even hear Kendrick say Eskimos? They don't have Beats by Dr. Dre out there, do they? Do they have like the new Samsung or the iPhone 17 before it get released? Do they like sign up, or do they this UPS ship shit out there to them on the Igloo? Like, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on to where this word would really cause this much outrage, because nobody I know knows a fucking Eskimo.
To the indigenous people who have been very patient and kind with my ignorant family, thank you. We got it from here.
Boy, if you don't shut up, we don't need you apologizing for nobody. We don't need you apologizing for nobody, because, like I said, I don't know an Eskimo. You don't know an Eskimo. My mama don't know now, and nobody that I know on Twitter know one. I ain't. And the crazy part about it, so many people want to virtue signal so fast and so bad that we have a dude that's black that want to take up this mantle of saying something like this, but then in 2 minutes after this, probably gonna talk about, well, we need reparations, and I need to be able to be flamboyant, and I need to be able to have my boyfriend bend me over so I can go get married without any judgment, and wear the septum piercing, and then I could wear the blue hair and wear a leash around my neck and bark like a dog and nobody judge me. Like, it's like that side of the aisle is so weird that they pick up so many different things to try to be outraged on or try to hedge against. Because I guarantee y'all, nobody is really looking for a reason to counsel Kendrick Lamar over the word Eskimo. And YouTube better not take my video down, because I'm gonna sue them for discrimination. They probably ain't gonna win, but it sounded good. It sounded really good, and it sounded like I meant exactly what I just said. It sounded like I was emphatic with it, wasn't it? It just sounded like, oh yeah, that nigga gonna suit him. He gonna win a lot of money. But I just want to say this when it comes to this. Black people, we got our own problems. Let the Eskimos worry about the Eskimo. Like they said, let the dead worry about the dead, or some whatever they say. And let the dead bury the dead. I don't know how they're gonna let the dead bury the dead, but yeah, whatever they say. Let the Eskimos handle the Eskimo. If you would have been an Eskimo that came out, then I'd be like, okay. But it's this, this dude that's kind of sweet with a septum piercing, and y'all know I hate septum piercing, so I'm always talk about the septum piercing. I don't care who wear that piercing. It's the ugliest thing. And then when you stare at people that have a septum piercing, they look at you crazy. Like, bro, you got something. It kind of reminds me like some big boogers just hanging out your nose. Like, people are already looking at folks weird when you see stuff in people's nose and teeth, and y'all had a nerve to actually draw attention to y'all nose and something hanging out of it and call it fashionable. Like, I'm just looking at you like you're a dumbass. Like, same way Amber Rose got that stupid tattoo on her forehead. Like, what in the world will possess you to just have this tattoo on your head? And if I stare at you, you're going to look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm looking at you like you crazy because you decided this was a good idea to tattoo your face. Anybody with a tattoo, a face tattoo. But like I said, I don't know how people got outraged at Kendrick Lamar. I don't know why niggas care about it. Y'all supposed to be worrying about reparations and black is beautiful and black girl magic and black people, black men not voting for Kamala. Don't pick up another one. Just stay on something for once. I just need y'all to stay on one thing to be mad about long enough for us to actually resolve that problem. We jump and move so many and change so many hats and seats to be outraged about, and that's why black people never get anywhere. And that's why I'm always telling people, hang up reparations, hang up the talk about slavery, hang it up, because y'all want to, like I said, y'all want to pick up so many bags and carry them and wonder why y'all get weighed down so bad, wonder why y'all look so stressed out, and wonder why y'all age so quick, because the things y'all can't control, y'all do not control it. Like marriage, when, where, and how you have children, the jobs you decide to pick up, how successful you want to be in life. All of these are things you can determine in your life, but y'all choose to talk about racism, a system that y'all ain't finna go change. Y'all always talking about systematic racism, a system that you're not finna change. Hang that shit up. Control the things that you can control. That's all I have to say about this. Control the things that you can control, and it'll be easier for you in your life. Like I said, if you're here, make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all like the video. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is this right here. So the whole thing we're talking about today is racism. Now, do I think racism is alive? Do I think people are racist? Yeah, people are racism. Do I think it's some magical or systematic thing keeping black folks down? No. Do I understand that some black people make so much money? Listen to me. Black people by themselves in America make so much money, we will be the 7th richest country. Just think about that. The 7th richest country. But we oppressed. We can't get nowhere. All of this with the whoop. I'm black. I'm a black girl. Hear me roar. Roar. I'm a strong black woman, but I cry every chance I get. I don't know how y'all even round that corner, but y'all do. I'm a strong black woman, but I'm crying. I'm the least paid. I'm the most disrespected, but I'm a strong black woman. All of this, like these are things that's going on. And people say these things, and I don't understand if they know how contradictory they sound when they say these wild and outlandish things. So next, we're gonna talk about Bill Murray and Stephen A. Smith, right? The reason we're talking about that because they was talking about Trump and Trump being racist. And my take on this, before I let them talk, my take on if Trump is racist, I just think Trump is a white man. It would be crazy for me to look at an 80-year-old white man to have something in common with me as a black man, especially a rich billionaire white man compared to a black man from Birmingham, Alabama. If I'm looking for Trump to be cool, to say something that resonates with me, that would be crazy. For if a white man says something, maybe that's how they feel, and maybe it's not based in racism, because I'm pretty sure Trump ain't hanging around niggas like that to know, hey, this is politically correct, Trump. You can say this and you can say that. I'm pretty sure he ain't hanging around a bunch of niggas. He probably hanging around a bunch of other, and if he is hanging around black people, they ain't worried about racism. They talking about getting some money. I'm sure of it. If I'm a billionaire, I don't want to sit around no white man, me and him kumbaya talking about race. Hey, let's go get this motherfucking money.
All right. So here's the thing. Right. So there are all these, white boys are talking to me about Trump, and he's a terrible racist. And it's like, well, how could the black people vote for him more than each time? And, they didn't vote for him a lot more, but men did. Right, men did. Okay. And I said, you know what? I don't want to speak for all black people, and this is where I need to tell you. Trump, you tell me if I was wrong or right. Okay. I said, you know what I think black people think about Trump? Like, is he a racist? Yeah, but they think every white person is kind of a racist. And do they think that white people behind closed doors talk like Trump? Yeah, he's just a crazy person.
That last part right there. It's not that. It's not.
He just says it out loud
as black people. I don't want to speak for all black people, whatever.
No,
obviously
because they're not all alike.
That's right. All. Exactly. But I will say this to you, as being a black man, you don't look at white people and automatically think they're racist.
And another thing, I seen Stephen A. Smith is, I guess, trying to get into this political ring or change a lot of the talking points that he is outside of sports. For the most part, he's been a real centrist, and a lot of his takes have been kind of. I could agree, because that's how I feel. I don't feel like every white person that I see is racist. I don't feel like every white person come from a family who's been part of the KKK or owned slaves, because I know too much history. I don't believe that white people are better than me. I don't believe that a lot of white people think that they're better than me. I just think that people are trying to go by their everyday lives and try to better their family. Like I said, most people that's going to work an everyday 9 to 5 ain't got time to be racist. Just saying, they just ain't got time to be racist.
You automatically know they're different than you, that they think different than you, that they come from a different cultural background and experience things differently than they do. Right. So that second part is very, very important, because when you talk about how Trump talks,
right,
we're going like this. So that's the first time he talked like that when he became president. Who the fuck you think you playing with? We know better than that. We know better than that. We know that ain't the first time, and we know that the people that he was friends with all of these years, he talked just like that around y'all, and y'all didn't have no problem with it. Don't act like you have a problem
And
now.
also had some genuine black friends and black folks who like him.
Well, let me tell you this. I don't know if I told you this.
Because it's complicated.
I don't know if
Life
I told you
is
this.
complicated.
I wouldn't call myself his friend by any stretch of the imagination back in the day.
Right.
But I've told this on many occasions. I said this in my recent appearance on The View and stuff like that. Trump and I were friendly.
Right.
Before he ran for president. He used to have these boxing matches, particularly during the Tyson fights at the Trump casinos. He would be at the Knicks game.
I gotta ask y'all a question. If a white person calls another white person racist, right? But they don't know them, and they just taking the side of a black people because maybe black people have said it, or maybe they've been around enough black people to say it. Do you think that's fair for a white person to judge another white person to say that they're racist? Now, if they come out and say, I don't like the niggers, we will all agree. But I haven't seen anything. I've seen Joe Biden say stuff about niggers, and I don't want my kids playing on a racial jungle or all of this. So I seen Joe Biden have clips of actually being on the Senate floor saying the most racist, vile stuff ever. I haven't heard Trump say anything like that. They try to act like when he was running for president the first time, he said, hey, what else y'all got to lose? Y'all might as well vote for me because y'all schools ain't shit. He didn't lie. Democratic ran city where I'm at, Birmingham, Alabama, been failing damn near 30 years plus. You can look it up. Baltimore, ain't none of their kids on proficient in math or reading. None of their kids in their school system. So I'm just saying.
Games and stuff like that. And if we're being totally honest, all the brothers found him to be cool.
Right.
They found him to be very cool. So let's be clear, because he knew his sports. All right. He would say what he feels.
And that go back to what I was saying earlier. Forsaken. That's what I was saying earlier. Black people have to code switch more around black people than they do in the other race of people. All the black people that was cool with him now have to play this position where I ain't cool with him. That was back in the 80s. That ain't the Donald Trump that I knew. But now, like I said, we had so many people say they was going to go vote for Kamala and then went into the damn polls in the booth and voted a whole nother way. Now we see all these athletes and John Jones out here doing a Trump dance because now they get to express themselves because Trump won. But if he would have lost, they would have still acted like, yeah, I voted for Kamala, whoop to whoop, because black people have to code switch with black people more than any other race, which is some sad shit to see.
Right. He bucked the establishment, which we love. And we gravitated to that, and obviously, he was
a certain age,
and
you
cool.
get a certain
it was cool
understanding that white men of that age,
right?
They're going to be a little grandpa. We don't say that anymore.
No,
but like, him. Is he really like in his?
But what does he say where you be like, grandpa? You know, you can't call the blackies that no more. You know, we don't refer to the black men like that anymore. Like I haven't heard him say anything where you'd be like, you know, grandpa, you know, those words are a little outdated. You know, we don't refer to them as Negroes anymore, niggers anymore. You know, you have to actually call them by their name today in today's time. I haven't seen that. If y'all can correct me in the comment section, if you seen him say something that was outlandish or a tad bit racist, just let me know. And I'm gonna say this: I'm not beholden to the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. I think we got something going as black men. I think black men need to come together and make their own political party. Because if Kamala can spend $1.5 billion and still be 20 million in the hole, I think we can come together and say, hey, I don't give a damn what your beliefs is. If you want gay shit, if you want straight shit, if you want open borders, if you don't, hey, we're going to run us that 1.5 billion and we're going to vote for however you want us to vote. But I know it'll be hard for black men to just come together and put something together like this. But that's all we got to do, and we can change the trajectory of this bitch overnight. All we got to do is start our own political party and say, hey, the only way we vote for y'all got to spend some money. Work for our vote, 1.5 billion, send that right over here.
his heart like hateful. No, I think
I've never.
I don't think his motivation is I don't like black people. I think his motivation is everybody must love.
I agree, Brad. That's not happening, big dog. Black folks can't even agree on who we are. And that's why I say black people, we need a black folks 10 commandments. We need a black folks 10 commandments, because I remember back in the day when I was growing up, we used to be like, oh, that's some white folks shit. The stuff that people used to do, white people used to do, we used to be like, that's some white folks shit. But then I keep telling y'all, black people are 20 to 40 years behind white people. And what I mean by that is you got so many people, you can see a lot of black women saying stuff like this. Love is love. If it's a tree, I'ma fuck it. Love is love, just love. Don't they sound like the hippies back in the 70s and 80s that was getting high? If you think about it now, the black women of today sound like the hippies of the old days. We so far behind that we just playing catch up to white people, and we saying the same rhetoric. But when I was growing up, it was a lot of stuff where we was like, oh, that's that white folk shit. Now we seeing a lot of black people, black boys that's doing streaming shit. Like your Casanats, the way they acting, how they around other black men and the little gay jokes they make. As a black dude growing up, we never made jokes like that with each other. But now they make jokes like that with each other all the time. And end it with pause. So, like I said, it's just a different time.
Love me.
Thank you. And that's why, that's right there. What you just said, everybody must love me.
It's his narcissism. It's not his racism.
I have never called him a racist. I have never spoken about him that way.
That's
ever.
interesting.
Not one time. Because I knew him beforehand. And I was.
All right. So here's the thing.
Right.
So that.
And like Stephen A. Smith said, he ain't never referred to that man as being racist, and he known. And there's a lot of people, even Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson had to come out and say, hey, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump. Who going to whoop me? Did y'all see that clip where he was on there with Ebro? And everybody just act like he didn't say what he said. Yeah, I'm voting for Trump. Who going to whoop me? And they was like, nobody. I might not agree, but ain't nobody going, of course you ain't. Look at this motherfucker, Mike Tyson. It's Mike Tyson. So the next video I want to play, I'm going to play on the back of this one. I'm going to play it on the back of this one. I might change this, what you call it, real quick. I'm going to play it on this one right here. And the reason I'm going to play this one is because y'all make sure y'all like the video. The reason I'm going to play this one is because we've been having a lot of people complaining about Donald Trump not picking anybody black for his cabinet. Now, one, I don't think us as black men are crying out here for representation. I don't need a black man to be in Trump's cabinet, no matter how much black men showed up and voted for him at a 20% clip. I don't need that in his cabinet. I don't need, like they say, it's 13% black people, 14% black people in the population. It needs to be 14% black people in all these things. I don't believe in that. I believe in people should get the job that best benefits them, their employer, or what they're able, or their merit-based, basically. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. I believe people should get it off merit, a meritocracy. So I just want to put that out there. I don't believe I need you to show black men. The only time we hear that is with the black women, black girls rock, and we need the representation and all this. No. But let's play this video here.
So it seems like Al Sharpton was loud and wrong. Take a look.
Ex Donald Trump, you talked about black men would be with you. Where's a black man being nominated by you for your cabinet? Has anyone noticed there's no black that has been nominated on his cabinet?
Well, Al Sharpton, you asked for it and you got it. Trump picked Scott Turner to lead Department of Housing and Urban Development. Now, just to give a little background on him, Trump put out a statement stating that Scott Turner was an ex-NFL veteran who served in Trump's first term as executive director of the White House Opportunity and Revitalization Council, helping to lead an unprecedented efforts that transform distressed communities he had worked with Ben Carson, which was the former HUD secretary, and under Scott's leadership, he received over $50 billion in private investment for opportunity zones. And just the icing
This is a pretty black woman here.
on top, and the cherry on top, he is a congressman from Texas. He is also married. His wife's name is Robin, and his son name is Solomon. Now, of course, for me, I don't really highlight too many of Trump's cabinet picks, but I just saw how they were trying to drag Trump, you know, of course, being a racist and a sexist.
Oh yeah, that shit used to piss me off too. This right here, I never liked it when they had one black character in a movie with all white cast. Just make them all white. I hated that too, because it was like, I'm gonna throw the nigga in there so they won't call us racist. Here you go, Blackie. Like I said, that's what liberals do. Liberals be like, here you go, Blackie. We know y'all can't use a computer. Here you go, Blackie. We know y'all can't take tests. Tests are for white people. Y'all are too dumb to take tests. Tests, what are that? IQ tests. And you know what's crazy? You will hear niggas say the same shit. You'll say somebody test, well, you know, testing has been perceived as racist at times. And who made those tests? You know, those tests were made for white people. And I'm like, what the fuck is y'all talking about? I just sat in class next to white boys and white girls and be like, these motherfuckers is stupid. I done been in class sitting right. I'm in class and the white boys copying out my paper in math. What the hell going on? And I think this is the one thing I do think integration will help. If you are able to go to a school with white people and actually just be around them and see how they talk, move, and act, their grades, their scores, and what they think and believe, your mindset would change overnight about how white people view themselves and how you view white people. Trust me. If I'm in class and I'm passing this quote unquote the racist test and the white boy asking me how I'm passing the test, it ain't that damn. Trust me. But I also understand that I have a higher IQ than most motherfuckers. But even white people, I just know that. I've taken plenty of tests. So like I said, I get it. But at the same time, I do think that a lot of black people have been going to HBCUs their whole life, or black-owned, you know, high schools and middle schools. They haven't really sat around white people that really understand, hey, these motherfuckers stupid, bro.
And all of this stuff on mainstream media. And we see that Trump has a very diverse cabinet. And also, I trust Trump's picks, that he's doing a great job. So for me, there's not too much to talk about it, but I wanted to highlight this. Now I want to hear what Al Sharpton and the rest of these race hustling journalists got to say about this pick now, because we know how they like to pick people's life apart. I already checked. He has a black wife. He has a black son. He gives back.
Oh, she doing her due diligence. See, I ain't watching that far, because you know that's the next thing. What she said was going to be the next thing people was going to ask. Well, he married to a white girl. All of this whoop de whoop. He really ain't black. But y'all let Kamala. Oh, Kamala was blackity black. She was blackity black. And everybody talk about her white husband. Oh, that don't matter. But y'all know black men can't be interracial, can't interracially date. Y'all know that, right? And hold these positions, because that's going to discredit him for doing anything. But if a black woman is married outside her race, she get all the support from black women.
A lot. He's a follower of Jesus Christ, strong family values. So what are you going to pick apart with him? Because before, with Tim Scott or Byron Donald, they have a white wife. But I like the fact that y'all are really fine-tooth combing anybody that Trump picks in his cabinet, unlike Kamala Harris, who picked
the reason I think a lot of time black women get mad about interracial dating too is because it was a white man and a black woman that went to the Supreme Court to be married. I think black women just figured they was going to be the only one to be able to date outside their race.
Goofy VP pick that was white, and y'all didn't have anything to say about Tim Walz, even all the scandals that came out about Tim Walz.
Tried to do
right, and she didn't pick no black man to be her vice president.
The best I can, but I've not been perfect, and I'm a knucklehead at times.
Goofy, and y'all had nothing to say. Y'all had nothing to say about the cabinet picks of Biden. All of these
fucking fairy
looking people that he had in his cabinet, unqualified.
Right.
unqualified. We do not care about of Biden.
Like, these are the people that this man really had in his cabinet.
All of these fairy-looking people that he had in his cabinet, unqualified. We do not care about race over here at all. That DEI stuff is gone with the dodo birds now.
Brad, I agree with you. Most black folks have never been around non-blacks like that to even have an opinion about them. And I think that's the reason that black people have this allure about white culture, and they feel like it's so mysterious and this mystiqueness about it, and feel like it's so much superior than black culture because they haven't been around it to really experience it. So sometimes when it's just like folklore. It's like the Loch Ness Monster. When every time your motherfucker tell a story about a Loch Ness Monster, he said it was 12 feet, and the next nigga said it was 13 feet, and the next nigga said it was 14 feet, and it was big as the Titanic, and then the next one said it was as big as a cruise ship. And every time you hear something, it's bigger and better, but you never seen the damn Loch Ness Monster. But every time you hear about it, it just get bigger and grandiose and bigger and bigger, so it just builds the allure about it. So I think the same thing happens with white culture, that so many people hear about it. Black people hear about white culture and them making so much money and family unit and generational wealth and racism. They just think there's this big ball of white greatness over there, and they ain't never even seen it.
We care about quality. We care about who is going to get the job done. We care about merit. Y'all want to get upset with Trump because he's picking loyalists. This is his cabinet.
And why wouldn't he? The man just got shot at twice. Why wouldn't I pick people that's loyal to me? I got shot at twice. But y'all say it was a play so he can win the presidency. I don't know.
What do you mean? Like that, y'all don't make any sense. He has women in his cabinet, all different type of ethnic groups in his cabinet. We're not with that goofy stuff over here. We want to pick people to get the job done. That's what we are about, making America great again. So congratulations to Scott Turner, and I wish you all the best. And the rest of the cabinet picks, I wish you all the best. And let's make America great again.
And you know why I played that video? It's not even about the Trump aspect of it. It's simply because I love seeing a black woman support a black man. That's why I picked that video. I love seeing a black woman support a black man. We don't see that often. We don't see that often. Even if she did vote for Trump, it would be more of a thing if, let's say, she was a Kamala supporter and she's like, well, I'm gonna support him just because he's a black man, even though his views are different. Because ain't that how a lot of black women say when it comes to people's lifestyle? I ain't gonna judge them, but since they black, I'm gonna support them. But when it comes to quote unquote voting against your interest, now you can't support a black man because he's on the opposite side, voting for Trump. Like I said, it was beautiful to see, and it was a beautiful lady that was supporting that man. So, next video I want to talk about. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. So DEI. A lot of people are getting rid of DEI. I don't know if y'all seen it, but I'm so glad that a lot of this stuff is being gutted. And I know that the companies are glad that DEI is getting gutted. And the reason being is because now you don't have to try to keep up with the Joneses or the other companies saying, oh, I got more niggas over here than you do. No, we got 12 niggas over here. Now over here at Walmart, we got 45 niggas work with us. Y'all know how they be. They be having who got the most niggas at the job. Who got the most niggas? Who got the most niggas at the job? We got 42 niggas. We got 65 niggas. Y'all know how it be. people be out here, they just be excited because they got niggas and they could just account for the niggas and they probably get a tax break or so. We ain't gotta be sued because we didn't pass our threshold of more than 2 niggas.
American companies and lawmakers already rolling back DEI initiatives in response to Trump's election victory. Did DEI die on November 5th?
I think it certainly did, and you're already seeing.
Greg, what's the question you got? Hey, y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video. Greg, what's the question you got?
Some of the consequences of this in the private sector, where several companies are sort of rolling out these plans to roll back their own DEI initiatives that they've set in place over the past few years. But of course, I think it's going to be much more difficult to tackle DEI at the root than these companies and even some Republicans may expect. And that's because this is a big money-making racket, Todd. One Harvard professor estimates that U.S. companies spend about $8 billion per year on diversity trainings alone. That does not include the very profitable DEI consultants who can charge up to 6 figures for their work when they go into some.
Hey, Greg, I'm gonna answer your question as soon as this video ends.
Some of these corporations. And then, of course, there.
As a matter of fact, put in the comment section, yes or no. Do y'all think America is racist? Put in the comment section if you think America is racist. Yes or no.
There's the other issue, which is that even if you get rid of DEI initiatives in some of these private companies, and even at the federal government level, you still have not tackled the root of the issue, which is higher education. These ideas did not come from nowhere. They need to be torn out root and branch from our colleges and our universities, which, by the way, are also funded by our taxpayer dollars.
Oh my God, that's what I meant to do and I forgot to do that. I was in a rush. So the reason I wanted to play this video and I forgot to bring the book. So my wife is in school to get her leadership degree, right? To be a school principal, right? So she had a book on the table. And in this book, I opened the book up, just happened to read the book. And I opened the book up to start reading what was in the book. When I tell y'all, it is so much DEI shit in this fucking book. I'm gonna bring the book. This is what they teaching the principals of these schools to lead. And I'm like, oh, when she said that, it reminded me I was supposed to bring the book so I could read the little inserts. And y'all gonna be blown away. This is what they teaching in school. Like when people say a lot of this stuff, because I was in college, we didn't learn about this. It was just the basic shit. Now, you know, that was 2008-ish, you know, that's a long time ago. It's different now. So like I said, just listening to her talk about we got to tear down all of this stuff in school, I'm gonna remind myself to bring that book and read it to y'all so y'all can hear what she actually learning in school. And she was on like a call, like a conference call, like a call for the class, a Zoom call. She was on a Zoom call for a class. And they was talking about a whole bunch of like, well, what if the student is this? And how do I approach if the student is that? I'm like, I can't believe y'all got to tippy toe and have proper languaging to address said student or to address certain behaviors and mannerisms. Like, this is crazy that so many people have the tippy toe around these people that are really just need to be in straitjackets. Make straitjackets great again. Make straitjackets great again. So Gregory Calloway said, yes, racism exists. Is America racist? He said, yes. Do I think America is racist? No, I don't think America's racist. And the reason I say that I don't think America is racist is because you can accomplish anything. That's why I'm basing it off too, Brad. I'm just basing it off opportunity. I don't think that I have any less opportunity as a white person when it comes to being successful. And typically what we judge racism off is how successful you can be in America. And like I said, I don't know if you was here earlier, I think that so many people, especially the black people, feel like white people which when it comes to generational wealth. I had an auntie, this is some real shit. I had an auntie this year. We're at a family function. Her husband goes upstairs. She says to the lady that she brought to the family function, she said, yeah, if I wasn't with such and such, I would date me a white man, because you know, white men, they like to invest in stuff. Come again? How do you just figure white people just like to invest in stuff? I know you worked in places because you hired me on some of these places where you around these white people and you ain't around no rich white men that just invested in doing all of this shit. So why do you think this is a thing? Like I said, I think it just go back to folklore that so many black people having to been around white people. And we just equated to, like I said, I just equated to the Loch Ness Monster. You hear all these stories about the Loch Ness Monster, so you just had this grandiose idea of what it is. And I think black people are the same way when it comes to white culture. Most black people, that's why I said, even like from where I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. Predominantly black city, police force, school system, city council, mayor, this is a black mecca. It'll be very hard for you, a black man, to encounter a white person that's just doing some racist shit now. That just be real. And then I personally am okay with racism. That's just me. If you're racist, if you got an establishment and you don't want a black person in there because they black, I think you should be able to do that. Oh my God. Over 6,000 spectacle lynchings of blacks since the turn of the century. What they got to do with now? Y'all always talk about things y'all ain't even gone through or things y'all ain't even seen. Just think about if you dated, a female and she was mad at you because a nigga blacked her grandma eye back in the day. Like, bitch, why you always upset? Because, you know, my great-granddaddy used to beat my grandma ass, and I just feel that pain the other day. He just be blacking her eye, and I just feel like you just gonna black my eye one day. Bitch, what? Did you see this? No, but I heard stories about it, and they used to always talk about how she used to come around with sunglasses on and listening to music with the headphones not plugged in. Are you talking about Whitney Houston? Oh, yeah, you talking about Whitney Houston. Oh, well, so you been telling me your grandma like Whitney Houston? My boy said black women are white supremacists. But just really just think about that. Think about dating a bitch and she punished you for a nigga blacking her grandmama eye. Like, this is what we have. We have black people telling us we supposed to be mad about slavery. Black people supposed to be mad about slavery that we ain't even went through. And Greg, you wasn't here. I'm pretty sure you weren't here from earlier. What about the black people that enslaved black people in Africa? Is that part of racism? Or what about the black people that got their freedom and then enslaved black people in America? Is that part of racism? Or is that part of just a way of life? When LeBron gets to get his son in the NBA, we know LeBron is garbage as fuck, and he jump over other black people. Is that racism? Or what about the white boys he jump over? Like, this is what we are literally seeing a black man tell the NBA ran by white people what he will and won't do when it pertains to his son, and they listen to this man. If they kick LeBron James out to this day, the NBA is still going to go. Point blank, period. Watch Joy Reid. You ain't black. JB. Because to be labeled white is an insult to people that don't know actual history. PS still enslaves people, not Muslim. I don't know what you're trying to say. Joy Reid. I don't like Joy Reid. You know what spectacle lynching is? You talking about when they lynch people in front of folks? You talking about how they what it was, Nat Turner cut his ear off, and you know they still talk about how they got pieces of his body to this day. They were sending around. That's what we talking about. Like, I know the history, and I understand we need to learn history so we won't repeat certain things, which I agree on a lot of those things. But for you as a black person, dang, I forgot to put a load of what you call it. I'm gonna have to do all of the DEI. For you as a black person to try to act as if those things are gonna happen to you is crazy. Is insane. But since we're talking about DEI and we got to include everybody, let's talk about these weirdo parents. I want to talk about this right here now. It is some weirdo parents out here. Let's go back to this some white folk shit.
We moved to Maryland to be able to access gender affirming care for Katie. What that looks like is therapy services, it's clothing, it's haircuts, and at this age, it is a hormone blocker to prevent her from going through puberty.
This is my hormone blocker right here.
Could that treatment be reversed at some point?
Yes, absolutely. It's really a pause button. Katie gets more time to live in the body that she has now.
On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care.
And he needs to. Boy, have y'all been seeing all them videos on X, how all the fairies and the sweet dukes doing like dancing and twerking? I'm like, bro, why are these black men so gay joining the military? Like, what is going on? And they just put these people front row for us to see them. I'd be heartbroken because I don't know I don't hang around black men like that. I know it's a lot of them. I know it's because a lot of daddies ain't in the house. But God, dog, this don't make no sense.
Trump has promised federal restrictions on transgender rights, including far stricter rules about gender-affirming care, especially for minors. One trans rights organization saw a nearly 700% increase in calls to their crisis hotline after the election.
McCarthy 1776 says, I don't even know what is America racist means. America is made up of 330 million unique individuals with all different views and perspectives, and also different races and religion. I agree with you. I'm glad you can join. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the channel.
What would happen if your daughter didn't get that care?
She would end up going through puberty, and it would be traumatizing.
These parents should be in jail. How are you trying to stop something that your child is going to naturally go through? How are you going to this should be a crime. And I'm glad that Trump is going to put something in place that if a doctor performs gender affirming care on you, and you feel like it harmed you, you are able to sue the doctors. I'm glad that it's finna be implemented because we know and we've all been through the ups and downs of going through hormones and trying to find ourselves, not feeling right in our body. It's part of growing. It's part of the teenage stage. It's part of being a kid. It's part of finding out who you are. It's understanding your strength as a boy, especially when you're going to get your voice deeper, your body aches because you done grew a foot over to something. Like all of these things is part of being a human being. And now we get to the point where we're trying to take the human experience away and alter things. And this is part of why people are sick, because the natural shit that God intended us to do and our bodies to do, we're trying to impede on those things and think that we can play God, even so much so that we're messing our children up. Because even those people that identify or as trans, the suicide rate is astronomical on that side, even after they transition, which is supposed to be gender affirming care or considered the medicine or the treatment they need to quote unquote get help. And they try to rectify and say it's similar to a cold. If you're sick, you get medicine to feel better. So if you're sick and you feel like you're a chick with a dick, but you want to get it cut off, we're going to cut it off. So now that's your treatment.
To her, to see all of those things happen to her body.
I know you get some treatment from doctors, from other care. What would happen if you didn't get that?
I would be upset and scared.
In the LGBTQ community, the suicide rate is high for those who are not being supported by their caregiver.
That's not true. See, they get on here, and this is CNN. So y'all know CNN allow people to lie. People always like to say, well, they're not supported because that's why they commit suicide. Well, let me ask y'all this. There's a lot of people, just like Greg in this conversation, that think America is racist. If support causes suicide, then why are Black people least likely to commit suicide? Than any other race, why are Black people least likely to commit suicide if support is the reason why this person is going to commit suicide?
We want her to survive childhood.
So families like Katie's are trying to prepare for what's ahead, even drafting an asylum application.
We have to start thinking about a backup plan.
If push comes to shove, we will need to go north. We will go to Canada.
What would
y'all gonna move to Canada? Y'all ain't seen what Justin been doing up there? Justin really running Canada like a dictatorship. Y'all gonna move to Canada just so just so your daughter's son won't grow no balls or the balls won't drop? This is crazy.
What would it take for your family to say, we need to leave this country?
A federal healthcare ban would likely be the moment we know that it's time to leave here.
What does this symbolize to you?
Freedom and rights. This proves that everybody has their own rights to be themselves.
Now, y'all mean to tell me y'all don't think these parents is coaching this young boy, girl, boy up? I don't even know what it is. They ain't showing the face, but they got long hair like a girl and they got heart. So I'm thinking it's a boy supposed to be a girl. Just an assumption, going out on a limb. I don't know if YouTube is going to take my channel because I misgendered the thing that I'm watching on this TV like y'all. But I hope they don't. Because misgendering, like I said, it's supposed to be the end of the EI. Hopefully YouTube follows suit and we ain't got to worry about people trying to go use the bathroom with women and they got Peter whackers, because there was a story in, I think, North Carolina or South Carolina where a boy called himself being trans and would go to the bathroom and rape young girls. Had 2 incidents in 2 different schools and they did nothing about it until the second incident happened and the father caused an uproar. Like I said, we have sick people raising children now. At that age, why are you even talking about sexuality? At that age, why are you talking about sexuality? So I got another video we're going to play right here. Let's go. Go. Let's go. Hey, that Glorilla, she done dropped that heat, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. That Let Her Cook, that's my favorite song by Glorilla. Even though your kids ain't supposed to listen to that type of music, but as an adult, Glorilla dropped that Let Her Cook. Let Her Cook. I like
Ms. Cole, you're next, and you can begin.
Good morning. My name is Chloe Cole, and I am a detransitioner. Another way to put that would be, I used to believe that I was born in the wrong body, and the adults in my life whom I trusted affirmed my belief, and this caused me lifelong, irreversible harm.
The affirming part, it was gets me. The only thing that should affirm if you are the sex is what you look down and see. I ain't got to tell you. The doctor ain't got to tell you. Ain't no so-called what they told you and what they labeled you at birth. Just look between your legs, baby. That's all you need to see. See how simple I made that? Not what you identify as, not what you feel on Tuesday, and not what you feel on Friday. Just look between your legs. That simple.
I speak to you today as a victim of one of the biggest medical scandals in the history of the United States of America. I speak to you in the hope that you will have the courage to bring the scandal to an end and ensure that other vulnerable teenagers, children, and young adults don't go through what I went through. At the age of 12, I began to experience what my medical team would later diagnose as gender dysphoria. I was well into an early puberty, and I was very uncomfortable with the changes that were happening to my body. I was intimidated by male attention, and when I told my parents that I felt like a boy, in retrospect, all I meant was that I hated puberty, that I wanted this newfound sense.
And most people, like I said, when you're going through puberty, your body's going through a change. You don't feel like yourself. It doesn't mean you're the opposite fucking gender. It means now I got way more testosterone, and I wake up and I had this sticky shit on me. I don't know what the hell just happened. Like, what is this? Oh, baby, that's a wet dream. Like, you can finally get somebody pregnant. Oh, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. I haven't grown facial hair, and now I'm getting hair on my nuts and under my armpits, and I'm getting a little bit more mustier than normal, and my body aches.
Sexual tension to go away. That I looked up to my brothers a little bit more than I did to my sisters. I came out as transgender in a letter I sent on the dining room table. My parents were immediately concerned. They felt like they needed to get outside help from medical professionals.
And the trust the science motherfuckers, we got to slap them. We just need to go on just a gauntlet of just slapping. Trust the science. Trust the science. Now all the stuff coming out about vaccines and myocarditis and the booster shots. And now y'all telling people the medical professionals are affirming people to cut their dicks off or put dicks on them. This is weird.
This proved to be a mistake. It immediately set our entire family down a path of ideologically motivated deceit and coercion. The gender specialist I was taken to see told my parents that I needed to be put on puberty blocking drugs right away. They asked my parents a simple question: would you rather have a dead daughter or a living transgender son?
Elon Musk said they came to him the same exact way. Basically, if you don't let your child transition, they're going to end up dying or probably killing themselves. But when we look at the stats, after transition, they kill themselves, commit suicide, still 50% plus.
The choice was enough for my parents to let their guard down. And in retrospect, I can't blame them. This was the moment that we all became victims of so-called gender-affirming care. I was fast-tracked onto puberty blockers and then testosterone. The resulting menopausal-like hot flashes made focusing on school impossible. I still get joint pains and weird pops in my back, but they were far worse when I was on the blockers. A month later, when I was 13, I had my first testosterone injection. It's caused permanent changes to my body. My voice will forever be deeper, my jawline sharper, my nose longer, my bone structure permanently masculinized, my Adam's apple more prominent, my fertility unknown.
Dang. Now you want to be a woman and you don't even know if you could be able to have children. That is sad.
I look in the mirror sometimes and I feel like a monster. I had a double mastectomy at 15.
What?
Everything that I went through did nothing to address my underlying mental health issues that I had.
Hold on. Your parents are just letting you cut your breast off at 15? Like, I'm shocked. Like, these are real hearings that we're listening to. These are real people, real lives. This is not like make-believe. This isn't made up. This isn't fictional. This isn't something that we read in a story or a television episode. This isn't a Lifetime movie. This is an actual person going through these actual things that we would be like, no, this would never happen. Nobody's that dumb enough to let their child chop off both their breasts. Nobody's that dumb to let them take testosterone injections at 13 so they could be a boy. Nobody would ever think that. But this is a real life thing.
And my doctors, with their theories on gender, thought that all my problems would go away as soon as I was surgically transformed into something that vaguely resembled a boy. Their theories were wrong. The drugs and surgeries changed my body, but they did not and could not change the basic reality that I am and forever will be a female. When my specialists first told my parents that they could have a dead daughter or a live transgender son, I wasn't suicidal. I was a happy child who struggled because she was different. However, at 16, after my surgery, I did become suicidal. I'm doing better now, but my parents almost got the dead daughter promised to them by my doctors. My doctors had almost created the very nightmare.
You know what I noticed? I'm going to just post this comment. I'm 70 years old and you don't know a goddamn thing about America. Right? That what Greg said. What I noticed is niggas want validation from white people so damn bad that typically when they talk about racism, it's because a white person just probably put the money on the counter when they went to like a restaurant or didn't want to touch them, or a white person walked across the street, or a white bitch clutched her purse when I walked close to her because I'm a black man. Like it's stuff like that white black people like, oh, they should have did X, Y, Z. Nigga, I lock my door. If I'm in the hood with a lot of niggas, I'm locking my door. What you mean?
They said they were trying to avoid. So what message do I want to bring to American teenagers and their families? I didn't need to be lied to. I needed compassion. I needed to be loved. I needed to be given therapy to help me work through my issues, not affirm to my delusion that by transforming into a boy, it would solve all my problems. We need to stop telling 12-year-olds that they were born wrong, that they are right to reject their own bodies and feel uncomfortable with their own skin. We need to stop telling children that puberty is an option, that they can choose what kind of puberty they will go through, just so they can choose what clothes to wear or what music to listen to. Puberty is a rite of passage to adulthood, not a disease to be mitigated.
I agree.
Today, I should be at home with my family celebrating my 19th birthday, and instead I'm making a desperate plea to my elected representatives. Learn the lessons from other medical scandals like the opioid crisis, to recognize that doctors are human too, and sometimes they are wrong. My childhood was ruined along with thousands of detransitioners that I know.
And stuff like this is gonna and COVID, this type of stuff is gonna forever taint the medical field. Like I'm already been skeptical because I say, like, you know, the Tuskegee is always in the back of our mind when it comes to everything that happens in the medical field, right? Because you know they got mad scientists and people just do things for the sake of money.
Know through our networks. This needs to stop. You alone can stop it. Enough children have already been victimized by this barbaric pseudoscience. Please let me be your final warning. Thank you.
And like I say, these are people that America, her sins have reached up to heaven next to judgment. Okay. But these are the things that we get to see. So the next thing I want to talk about is Nancy Grace. Now, Nancy Grace is catching fire or flack because she says she don't want to go into the bathroom with chicks with dicks. And they don't like that because they say she's being inflammatory by saying these type of things. I agree with Nancy. So we're going to see what Nancy had to say.
We moved to Maryland to be able to access gender.
American companies and law.
Oh man, I don't know why I keep doing that. That Sunday hosting stuff is crazy.
Was raped at the age.
So let's hear what Nancy had to say about chicks with dicks. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. She a fine white woman. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel.
I'm a survivor of rape. I was raped at the age of 16. And about a year ago, I had a deeply traumatic experience. And I was diagnosed with PTSD, or post-traumatic stress disorder, from abuse that I suffered at the hands of a man. And I've lost 30 pounds over the course of the last 12 months. This weekend, in fact, I moved for the 4th time in a year. And so I have suffered the consequences of abuse. And I know firsthand how women's private.
Yeah, look at this. Hold on. I'm sorry, but this is the type of stuff that I tell y'all when you have a different opinion of somebody, they just get upset. He said, I'm retired and I have a nice home. Get there, Negro. But this is the same person complaining about America being racist. Like, how did you get this nice home? And how are you on the computer being able to call me a Negro? Like, you should definitely be out somewhere picking cotton and get your fingers pricked somewhere, shouldn't you? Getting bent over the barrel, butt broken and stuff like that. You should have. I don't understand why y'all get upset because baby boomers are lost. But I don't understand why y'all get so upset because people think differently than you. And why do you want to convince me that America is racist? What does it matter? If I believe it's racist or not, it's not going to affect your life. You're retired and have a nice home. You should be sitting up comfy, drinking a beer right now, jacking off instead of watching me if you don't have a different view of me, or with something fine, tight, and you're retired. You're supposed to have the money in the bank and have some butt naked bitches walking around the house or something. Instead of worried about what I believe. I'm just saying, this is weird. If I'm 70 and retired, I'm not finna go argue with a nigga on YouTube about if he believes in America racist. Now then get on here talking about he got a nice home. Get there, Negro. Like, what are you talking about? This makes no sense. Y'all be leaving me here for a loss of words because I be having so much hope. And y'all remind me every day what they talk about the IQ of black people. And how low black people IQ is. Because if you really felt America was racist, why would you tell me about your nice home? You sound like a white man. You're gloating. You're trying to put your materialistic things over me. You're building generational wealth with your nice home. I'm pretty sure you're going to pass that down. Typically, that's how people build generational wealth. They leave things for their children. If you're retired, I'm pretty sure you might have did well off. I hope you did. I hope the best for you. Gregory, Calloway. You're supposed to be an old trick at this point. You're supposed to be out there with your Corvette, the top down, smacking on asses, being a weird, creepy man in the strip club, getting sucked off. Like, that's what you're supposed to be doing. X videos, black sloppy head. Look it up. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what is going on, Greg? What is wrong with you, Greg? I'm sorry. I get it. You're black, you're an older black man, and you wanna, yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're supposed to be a sugar daddy at this point. Life is supposed to be good for you. You're not even supposed to be worried about racism. You're supposed to be worried about Viagra. Like, that's you worried about the wrong thing. Not if the white man keeping you down, but you should be worried about if your blood pressure is keeping you down. That's what at 70 years old, that's your only concern. Is my blood pressure keeping me down to where I can't get it up? I'm just saying.
Spaces should be just for women. Rape victims like myself, or any woman for that matter, should not be forced to undress in front of men. And that's what the insanity of the left, that's what their policies are causing, not just on Capitol Hill, but all across the country, in schools, in locker rooms, dressing rooms, bathrooms. This is happening everywhere. And we have to put a line in the sand, big, fat, bold, red line, and say, hell no, no more. Like, I am going to fight like hell for this. I don't want chicks with dicks in my bathroom, in my dressing room. I don't want to be forced to change in front of a man, period. And it's a trigger for me. And I absolutely am going to go to the mat for women and girls everywhere and put a stop to it.
You know, your critics say when you use phrases like chicks with dicks, you're being deliberately inflammatory. And
is that really inflammatory though? Aren't they chicks with dicks though? Maybe she's supposed to say penises, but aren't they chicks with dicks? Like, well, they really aren't chicks. They're like men with dicks that dress up in women's clothing. Yeah, that's more so.
You're fueling transphobia, that you have essentially a hatred of trans people. What would you say to them?
I would say they're completely off the rails. They're worried about feelings and not facts. And the facts are, Pierce, I voted for gay marriage not once, but twice. I have co-sponsored.
And see, this goes back to the thing I always talk about, the slippery slope. You voted for that, but then the thing and the question always becomes, when does this stop? When do they stop asking and demanding some more outlandish shit? Okay, we allowed y'all to be out here in public being gay. We allowed y'all to be out here and get married. Now we allowed y'all to be trans. And then now we're trying to allow y'all gender affirming care. And y'all trying to use all these loopholes like the military and stuff like that to actually get these surgeries because you can't afford them. You know what's crazy? Y'all would spend y'all life savings cutting off y'all Peter whackers when it's cheaper to just be a man.
Legislation to protect the rights of those in the LGBTQ community. But I draw a line, the insanity of the left that thinks it's okay for a man and his penis to be in our private spaces. And look, Pierce, I was receiving hundreds of death threats a day last week. I got over 1,000 death threats. I've had to increase my security. Some guy tried to rush the stage last week trying to get at me. I've had multiple people in front of Capitol Police that were guarding me come up to me and try to verbally or physically accost me over the last couple of
This lady probably was really sexy when she was my age.
days. The fact that you're willing to kill a woman over her right to privacy it's insanity. And I feel like the more that they come after me, the harder I'm going to fight back, the harder I'm going to push back. It's rabid insanity.
And this is what I want to say. How are we talking about women this, women that? I'm a woman, hear me roar, Me Too movement, all of these movements for women, feminist movement, but y'all allow men to infiltrate the feminist. Oh, I got to see her stand up. Or she like that. Allow men to just infiltrate what women have going on. This is crazy that y'all say y'all care about women on that side, but then y'all care about trans women too. Like you can't, it's hard to straddle the fence. Y'all got to pick a side, because one minute y'all care about women and then y'all care about trans women, but then the women say, hey, we don't feel comfortable when I'm in the Planet Fitness and this man walking out here with his Peter whack and my little girl seeing this man butt naked at Planet Fitness changing and dressing out. My daughter's not supposed to see that. And people do stuff like that to just be obnoxious. Like you just want to be, why do you want to come and be naked like this? But why would we have to do that? Why would we have to make spaces just for trans? Like, you just think about this. Just think about this. If I made a sport, just think, for trans men, right? That's, I think, women that transition to men. Wouldn't that still be women's sports? Don't get me wrong. If I make trans sports, when it still end up being men playing men and women playing women, when you could just be a man to play on the man's side and a woman play on the woman's side, wouldn't that still be the same? To force people who have been on hormones and had surgeries into men's spaces is equally as wrong as women being forced into men's spaces. But at the same time, wouldn't that still be men playing men and women playing women, though? If I was a trans woman, to force trans women into men's spaces says you don't care about them as much as, say, females or males. This is the message they get when nothing else is proposed. I don't think those people should transition. I think we need to make straitjackets great again. I think we need to open the insane asylums again. I think we need to make sure that these people actually understand what they're doing to their bodies, understand that they might be a little loony, might need to get a little, might actually need some type of medication, but I'm pretty sure they're doing that anyway before you actually get to the point where you think you can transition. And you got to ask yourself, who are the powers that be that allows this stuff to happen? The obvious thing is to normalize trans spaces and spaces for them to be safe. Okay, whatever your name is. Okay, let's say I agree. But where does it stop? Because like I said, all of this is a movement that started with gays. We allow gays and lesbians to be out there. Then we allow them to get married. We allowed them to defile marriage because that's something they wanted to do. And people was like, okay, now they're pushing back and saying people can cross dress and be now it's trans shit. Now you're transitioning kids, and now you're trying to allow pedophilia. Now we got people out here in everyday life acting like dogs and cats and ponies and getting walked on the leash by other people. When does the delusion stop? This is the question. When does it stop? It just you give them something, they ask for more. You give them something, they ask for more. You give them something, they ask for more. When does this shit stop? Lord, Greg said white women cry more than anyone with all their privileges. All humans and groups deserve equal rights and safety. I agree. They deserve equal rights. They deserve. On the safety part is a little iffy because if you ain't working, because that's just like if I get into a fight with a dude, he might be bigger and stronger than me. We don't need to level the playing field. They try to do that shit in boxing with weight classes and stuff. But some people are more skilled, so safety is a little iffy. You better learn how to protect yourself and do what you need to do to make sure that you can have the favorable outcome. But safety, cool. I get it. Equal rights, I agree that everybody should have the same rights, point blank, period. But safety, that safety comes at a price. Some people are more safer than others because they got more money. They stay behind a big gated community and they got these big walls and high ceilings and able to afford guns more than the other person. I don't think you should just be safe because you exist. Nothing in the world ever worked like that, like safety. That's like even when you watch the Animal Kingdom. I should be able to walk. I'm a warthog. I should be able to just walk the plains. A lion shouldn't rip me a new asshole, but he does. So what you need to do is keep your head on the swivel and be able to run faster than him. Okay, so on safety, why is that we say men shouldn't go into women's spaces? I think men should go into women's spaces. I think women should go into men's spaces. I think we need to go back to where it was okay. Like even sports. I don't want to see no female commentator. Get them out of there. I don't want to watch female basketball. Most of the girls that play basketball look like me. I don't want to see no girl that look like me that play basketball like me. I'm sorry. I don't want to see it. Get them out of there. The only sports I want to see women play or participate in: water polo, volleyball, softball, and gymnastics. Those are about the only things I want to see, and you already know why I want to see women in those sports. Other than that, bitch, here go an apron. Get in the kitchen. I don't want to see women doing anything a man does because that's why the WNBA is on welfare. They lost $40 million this year with their most viewership they have ever had. They probably are bots. I'm pretty sure they are. They come to be disruptive, but at the end of the day, it all makes for good content. And the questions that they ask, it helps with my point. But like I said, I don't want to see women play no basketball. I don't want to see none of that. I don't want to see anything with a woman dribbling the ball. Nothing about that gets me going. Yeah, they calling you a bot. They're calling you a bot. I think a lot of y'all don't have no picture or nothing like that. Y'all have just letter. What is DFHG R-E mean? It's bodish. It's giving bodish. But yeah, like I said, we don't want that. We don't want women in sports, none of that. So much so we need to save girl sports. So much so we need to save girl sports. And the reason we're gonna say, y'all make sure y'all like the video, make sure y'all share the video, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Next video we're gonna talk about is this right here. Let's get into it.
The school does allow other messages. There's other social, political, religious messages worn on shirts by other students. And then there's also signs hanging around campus. There's
Yeah, they should have the right to have their own leagues and to play their own sport. If you're talking about women, yeah. If you're talking about trans women and trans people, no. Because at the same time, after you if you're a woman and you transition to a male and all the trans men are in the same sport, that's back to women's sports. That is all that is. You might as well compete with the women. If you're a trans man and you're a woman that transitions to a man, that's women's sports, and vice versa. If you're a man that transitions to a woman, that's men's sports.
There's gay pride flags hanging in the classroom. And so there are other messages that are allowed that haven't been censored. And I know, Taylor, you even asked the athletic director regarding other messages. So if you want to speak to that, you can go ahead and share.
Yeah, I asked our athletic director about, because the student on our team wears bracelets that say like trans pride, and I asked him why is he allowed to wear that, and why can't we wear ours and express our opinion when he is expressing his opinion? Like, why can't we wear our shirts?
Once again, the patriarchy wins.
So then she just brought up the example of the swastika again. She wouldn't really answer my any of my questions. She just kept on bringing up that example. When we wore them to practice, we actually did get a lot of compliments.
I see what you're saying, but the whole problem is that those who are female who transition to male have unfair advantages. Well, I guess you got a point if they're taking steroids, but they still should go into women's sports.
Compliments for wearing our shirts from other athletes on the team. And when we did wear them, our athletic director called us over. And then, as Julianne said, we had to remove our shirts. And then we had to put on a different shirt because we weren't allowed to wear this shirt at practice.
The girls wore shirts that they're wearing right now that the front says Save Girls Sports. And then on the back of the shirt, it says it's common sense. XX does not equal XY.
Ooh, they saying they smarter than y'all. Ooh.
And so the girls wore these shirts to a cross-country practice, and the same athletic director that had displaced Taylor on the girls' varsity team told the girls that they needed to remove their shirts or hide the messaging on their shirts. And when the girls very respectfully asked, why do we need to change our shirts? What's wrong with the messages? The athletic director told the girls that their shirts, the messages on their shirts created a hostile environment. And the girls, again, very respectfully asked, what does that mean? What do you mean that our shirts create a hostile environment? And the athletic.
How does a shirt create a hostile environment, but not you allowing men to play with women? Wouldn't that create a hostile environment when you got this man acting like a woman with all this testosterone flowing through his body, elbowing women and being able to jump higher, playing volleyball and stuff like that?
Director told the girls that it would be the messages on their shirts would be the same thing as wearing a swastika in front of a Jewish student.
What? I tell y'all all the time, people always want to be part of some type of struggle, victim blaming. Save Girls Sports is the equivalent of wearing a swastika in front of a Jewish student. That is fucking sane.
Personally, it hurt me like really bad because I am not like a hateful person. Like God calls us to love everyone and be kind to everyone. So like just hearing that made me feel like really bad, like I was being like hateful towards that person when I wasn't. I was just standing up for women's sports and helping them get equality in their sports.
Yeah, it was definitely hard to hear because like we were by no means trying to be hateful. We were just wearing a shirt that expresses what we believe in, trying to raise awareness to a situation. And it was not targeted to an individual athlete at all, which the athletic director kept making it sound like it was. And yeah, we were just wearing them to raise awareness, and it seemed like they were trying to make us labeled as hateful people when we weren't.
And this whole thing about labeling, trying to label people to be something that they're not, is crazy. I should be able to tell you that I don't want chicks with dicks playing sports with me. You would think that would just be common sense because men have an unfair, not an unfair advantage, but they have an advantage over women because of their biology. It's crazy.
Hello. I'm a student at Martin Luther King High School, and I run on the cross country team. So I'm constantly affected by these actions that have taken place this season. And I have been around the females and just my team in general who have felt almost silenced to speak out about it because the whole LGBTQ is shoved down our throats, it is put in our face. And we live in a society where it is almost impossible to speak out on it without facing the repercussions of it. And I went myself to have a discussion with the head of the athletic director when nobody really felt comfortable enough to speak out. And I don't think it's fair, knowing Caitlin and knowing Taylor, to see their spots getting taken away, to see all these things being jeopardized for one person. It feels as though that my school and the school district is choosing to support one person instead of the whole team and the whole school as a total. Like, it's not.
And that is unfair. You got this one loony motherfucker that think they're a boy or a girl, and you mean to tell me you're going to inconvenience the whole school to accommodate this one person? This is my whole thought process, and this is my whole argument when it comes to these situations. It's like, how do you inconvenience everybody else? And we got to tippy-toe, change our language and what we have to say to make somebody else feel comfortable or normal, instead of making them acquiesce to the masses. This is crazy.
Fair. It's not okay. I try my best not to put personal beliefs into it, but seeing this first-handedly, seeing my teammates getting their spots taken for one person that's choosing to be a girl, it's not okay. I've done my research. I've looked into the CIF rules, and I've looked into the NCAA rules, two completely different things. And when I went into this meeting with the athletic director, I knew that. I knew that going into it, that teachers and coaches and people in the office can't speak on personal opinion. And then to see the athletic director turn around and tell my teammates that their shirts that say Save Girls Sports be compared to a swastika, that is not okay. These girls feel silenced. They felt silenced. And when they finally spoke out and did something to go against it and speak out, not directed towards a single person at all, they were completely stabbed in the back by the person that we were told would support us and be able to help us through this. They were said that it was a hate crime, that they were targeting that one person, and that is not the case at all. Taylor and Caitlin are two of the most nice people I've ever met in my life. And to see them having to be told that they're being hateful people is not okay.
You know, it's sad when the children got to get up here and speak and have more common sense than the people that's supposed to raise them, than the adults. We are now witnessing the making of the biggest rebellion of children against parents coming down the pipeline. And what I mean when I say that is this young lady is sitting up here having to express herself about the unfair treatment of a man deciding to be a woman and women in their spots taken. Now, these young ladies are seeing actual adults not fighting for common sense. And what's going to happen is a lot of these young kids are going to be so upset, so anger-filled at the adults that they're going to rebel, that we're going to start seeing a lot of older people and younger people going at it, that when it's time for y'all to go to nursing homes, the older people, ain't nobody going to be there to take care of y'all because y'all are not standing up, developing a spine, and fighting for the children when it's just common fucking sense. We're going to see a lot of it. Just like I said, you're going to start seeing a lot of kids killing their single mothers. You're going to start seeing a lot more of that. It's going to just ramp up. It has no choice. We out here feeding mental illness and breaking down households and telling everybody it's fine and women can do X, Y, and Z without a man and support this. And we're doing the same thing when it comes to this trans issue and a whole bunch of other issues that we're seeing in America.
And it is not okay that I have to be in a position where I'm going to practice and having to see a male in booty shorts and having to see that around.
She ain't like that. Her face scrunched up and everything. I don't want to see no grown man with his ass out with some booty shorts. Probably got his meat hanging out too. We don't want to see this. The perversion that y'all are allowing.
Around me as a 16-year-old girl, I don't find that as a safe environment. I don't at all. And going into locker room and seeing males in there, I don't find that safe. I don't find going to the bathroom safe when there's guys in there. It's not okay. I'm a 16-year-old girl. There's girls around me where we do not feel safe having boys in our environment. And it isn't okay. It isn't okay to have them on our team. It isn't okay when it's the genetics.
Did they mute her mic at the end? Or she just said it's not okay and walk around? Hold on.
It isn't okay to have them on our team. It isn't okay when it's the genetics.
Yeah, they muted her mic. They got tired of Gina speaking. That is sad. That is really sad. Like I said, it's a lot of stuff I wanted to talk about today, but I got to get going. My baby, he said he's hungry, so I'm going to have to go take him some food to eat. But I just want to say, for the main point of the day, is America racist? As far as opportunities, no. There's plenty of opportunities for Black people to go out here and get. Like I said, I just think about most Black people are in urban areas surrounded by nothing but Black people, and those opportunities out there can be had and can be obtained. Don't be out here listening to liberals telling you that you can't use a computer, telling you that testing is racist, and telling you, here you go, Blackie. We know you can't do it. Get you a pat on the back. Here's your cookie. You can get this cookie. Because we know you can't do it. You helpless little monkey, you. That's how the liberals look at us. Malcolm X talked about the difference in liberals, talking about comparing them to foxes and wolves. So foxes typically try to seem like they're your friend before they eat you. And that's typically how the liberals are. I was going to play another video of them asking the liberals, well, since you're okay with open borders, I got these migrants that need somewhere to stay. Can they come stay at your house? And they all look dumbfounded. They look scared to answer. Some of them are covering their faces. Some people are walking off. One dude said, "Well, I could take one of them and two of their kids," because the lady said, they got 10 kids. Well, I could take I could take the daddy and 2 kids. And she said, "Oh, so you want to separate the family like they're doing at the border, huh?" And he starts spazzing out. Oh, I forgot. We can't say that word anymore. This is crazy. The stuff that we literally see in America. America is not a real place. Like I said, it's going to go back. It's going to go down in history as the worst social experiment ever known to man. This many people, this many religions, this many races, this many ideologies, this many thought process was never, ever supposed to be mixed in one country. That's why when you go to a Muslim country, they all believe in the same shit. When you go to Israel, I'm pretty sure they all believe in the same shit. But everybody having all these ideas, the quote unquote melting pot. No, we're not supposed to all be having different ideas, thought process, and letting people be themselves and quote unquote being free. So is America racist? No. Y'all put in the comment section if y'all think America racist. I don't. I say no. And I stand on that. We'll be back tomorrow at 11:30. Y'all make sure y'all like the video. Make sure y'all share the video. Let's get this out there so people can, follow the channel. I'm giving y'all good content week in and week out. It's the New Normal Podcast. And we go. Peace.